Right. So today we're diving into something that's got the whole WWE universe talking a potential lawsuit surrounding Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Now, obviously a commentator for WWE, and it stems from a recent segment on Raw.
Yeah.
Our main source for this deep dive is a YouTube news update. And,
Great.
we would it be clear, we're not here to just rehash the gossip, but to really, get into what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And, look at this from the perspective of accountability, when you're a public figure, especially someone with McAfee's style.
Exactly. And, it's interesting right off the bat how a story like this can really get blown up.
Right.
With very few confirmed facts. So it's our job to kind of, sift through all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's start with the basics. What is this YouTube update actually telling us about this whole situation with McAfee?
Well, according to the update, it says McAfee is facing a potential lawsuit, and this is connected to a controversial WWE Raw segment.
Okay.
Now, the specifics of what exactly made this segment controversial, that remains pretty unclear. The report throws out a few possibilities, disagreements about his contract, maybe some things he said on air, even hints at some behind-the-scenes conflicts. So, yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag at this point.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So, that naturally leads to the question, is this, legit legal trouble, or is this just part of the show?
Right.
WWE has certainly pulled that kind of thing before, drum up some drama.
Oh, absolutely. They're known for that. But there's a part in the YouTube update where they briefly mention the legal side of things.
Yeah.
The idea that even in entertainment, there are lines you can't cross.
The wrestling world is reeling tonight as Pat McAfee, the electrifying WWE commentator and fan favorite, finds himself tangled in a legal nightmare that could shake Raw to its core.
That makes sense.
But
now,
hold on before you swallow the half-baked rumors flooding your timeline.
He's very
Let's cut
much
through the noise and dissect what's really
guy.
happening.
That's a big part of
The
his appeal.
bombshell. Sources confirm McAfee is facing a potential lawsuit tied to a controversial segment on WWE Raw.
A role
Details are murky, but insiders whisper about contractual disputes, on-air comments gone nuclear, or even behind-the-scenes clashes. The question isn't just, what did Pat do?
But when you're working
did this derail
within the
his skyrocketing
structure
career?
of a big
Expert
company
questions
like
you need
WWE
answers to.
with live
Is
broadcasts,
this a publicity stunt
all
or a
sorts of
genuine
agreements,
crisis? Spoiler,
that freedom of expression,
WWE's
well,
never
it
shy
can
about
sometimes
drama.
bump up against certain
Could
limitations,
McAfee's
and the
unfiltered
YouTube
persona
source
finally have
seems to
backfired?
suggest that
Legal
might be a
eagles
factor
suggest
here.
even
Yeah,
entertainment
and
has
thinking
limits.
about WWE for a
What
second.
does this mean for WWE's
McAfee has
future?
become a
If
pretty
Pat's
big
mic
part of
gets
their whole
silent,
presentation.
who fills the chaotic void?
He brings
Why
a
this
lot to the
update
commentary
matters?
team.
Let's be real,
and he draws in
90%
a lot of
of
fans.
news out there is
So
recycled
if
trash
his role in
designed to bait
WWE
clicks.
is
McAfee
impacted
sued,
in some
flashes
way,
your screen,
what
but did
kind
they
of
ask
fallout
why?
could
Did they
WWE
dig
be
into the
looking
life
at?
lessons here?
Well, if you
No,
look at the bigger
that's
picture,
where we diverge.
McAfee brings a
The human
unique
angle.
energy and
This
a whole
isn't just
fan base of
wrestling
his
gossip.
own.
Right.
It's a
So
masterclass
any
in accountability,
disruption to
risk,
his
and navigating
presence,
pain. Ask
it
yourself,
would force WWE to
how do
make
you handle
adjustments to their
backlash when
on-air
passion
dynamic.
clashes with protocol?
And you have to consider
What's the cost of
potential
staying
for negative
authentic in a scripted
attention.
world?
Yeah, for sure.
Pat's saga
The
mirrors
YouTube
our own
update
battles between
really
ambition and
challenges us to
boundaries.
think beyond the headlines
While
here.
trolls scream,
And
cancel
it
him.
calls this whole
Remember,
situation
truth is
a
rarely black and white.
masterclass in
Is Pat
accountability
guilty?
risk
Too
and
soon.
navigating
But one
fame.
thing's clear.
This is bigger than
In
just
life,
wrestling news,
every mic
right?
drop has consequences.
Absolutely. I think the source
Subscribe
is
now,
pushing
don't
us to
sell for
reflect
lazy
on our
headlines.
own lives
Here, we don't
and
just
how we
report
deal
chaos,
with
we decode it.
situations where our
Smash the
passions or
subscribe
beliefs,
button bell for updates that
might
empower you,
clash
not just
with the
entertain.
rules or
Because life's greatest
expectations.
stories,
It
they're
also
buried in the
brings
drama.
up the challenge
Drop
of
a
staying true
comment.
to yourself
Is Pat being set
when
up,
you're working
or did he
within a
cross the
defined
line?
structure.
Let's unravel this
And
together.
that's something I think a lot of people can relate to.
Yeah, that's something we all face at some point.
Yeah.
The YouTube update even asks you directly to think about the cost of maintaining your authenticity
Right?
when there's a chance of facing consequences for it.
Yeah, and I think what's fascinating about this whole situation is how universal that struggle really is.
Yeah.
How do you balance, your individual expression with the context that you're operating in? And McAfee's situation, well, it's a very public example of that very struggle.
It really is.
Yeah.
So even though, we don't have all the pieces to this puzzle yet, what would you say is a key takeaway from this news based on what we've seen?
Well, the update cautions us against jumping to conclusions, reminding us that the truth is rarely black and white. But they also leave us with a pretty powerful thought, and that's every mic drop has consequences.
Yeah.
And I think that's the core message here. Regardless of how this potential lawsuit actually plays out, it highlights the real-world impact of what we say and what we do.
Absolutely, especially when it's all happening on a public platform.
Right.
All right, so to quickly recap, we've been looking at this breaking news about Pat McAfee facing potential legal trouble and all the questions that come with it,
Yeah.
based on that YouTube news update.
Yeah.
And while the details are still coming out, this situation really touches on some big themes: accountability in the public eye, the boundaries of, that unfiltered kind of expression.
Right.
And the potential impact on both McAfee and WWE itself.
I think this leads to a very important question for our listeners to consider. Think about those times in your own life or your career where you had to balance being your true self with adhering to those necessary boundaries. This situation with McAfee, no matter what the legal outcome ends up being, it serves as a reminder that even in entertainment, our actions and our words have weight.
For sure.
So what are those mic drop moments in your world, and what consequences might they have that you haven't even considered?
That's something to think about. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.